Dinosaur Train A to Z. Atticus were amphibious, which means that they lived on both land and water. As amphibians, they were able to breathe underwater, kind of like fish. Like modern turtles, Atticus were turtles that could pull their heads into their shells. Atticus most likely ate plants, but may have also fed on small animals. Like turtles, Atticus carried their homes, their shells, around with them all the time. Turtle shells are made up entirely of bone and are usually hard in order to protect. Alamosaurus was a huge, long-necked dinosaur. It was one of the last sauropods that lived in the Mesozoic era. Alamosaurus was a plant-eating sauropod dinosaur that lived in North America during the Cretaceous time period. Alamosaurus was one of the last sauropod dinosaurs to live in the Mesozoic era. Allosaurus had a small horn over each eye. The horns may have helped Allosaurus to recognize others of its kind. Allosaurus was one of the dominant carnivores in North America that lived in the Jurassic, many millions of years before Tyrannosaurus Rex. Allosaurus had a small horn over each eye. The horns may have helped Allosaurus to recognize others of its kind. Amargasaurus was a giant sauropod with 2 rows of spines. Amargasaurus was a sauropod. Sauropods were 4-legged herbivores known for their small heads, big long bodies, and large appetites. Ankylosaurus was covered from head to toe with bony armor. The bony club at the end of its Ankylosaurus was a large and heavy quadruped, which means it walked on 4 legs. It was also a herbivore, which means it only ate the green stuff, plants. Apatosaurus was a giant dinosaur that had to eat huge amounts of food every day to support its size. Apatosaurus had chisel-like teeth located in the front of its jaws, which it used to grab plant food. A lot of plant food. Archaeopteryx, sometimes called first bird, was a small meat-eating dinosaur that lived in the late Jurassic time period. Archaeopteryx was about the size of a modern-day crow and likely fed on a diet of small animals, including fish and insects. Like other sea turtles, Archelon had to come out of the water to make a nest on the beach and lay its eggs. It would then return to the ocean, leaving the young turtles to fend for themselves. Like giant sea turtles today, Archelon may have fed on jellyfish. Argentinosaurus was bigger than 10 tyrannosaurs put together. Argentinosaurus is the largest plant-eating dinosaur ever discovered from the late Cretaceous time period. It was found in Argentina, South America. Avosaurus are known to be from the Rocky Mountains and the humid low-lying swamps, lakes, and river basins of the western interior seaway. This flying dinosaur was probably a carnivore, eating small animals like lizards and mammals. Brachiosaurus had longer front limbs than hind limbs. Many paleontologists think that it held its neck straight up like a modern giraffe to reach leaves high in the trees. Brachiosaurus, like other plant-eating animals, had broad teeth that would have been great for stripping vegetation off trees. Castrocauda means beaver tail because it had a flattened tail like a beaver and likely used it for swimming, just as modern-day beavers do. Castrocauda appears to have been a fish eater. Chirostenotes means narrow hand because it had 3 long clawed fingers on each hand. Chirostenotes means narrow hand because it had... Chirostenotes was an omnivore, which means they ate both meat and plants, just like many humans. They ate plants, eggs, small animals, and insects. Similestes was an early mammal that lived in the woodlands of North America and Africa during the Cretaceous time period. The name Similestes means bug thief, as they likely fed on bugs and insects. Confuciusornis was a crow-sized bird with a toothless beak and a very long tail of feathers. Scientists think that Confuciusornis was most likely an omnivore. Corythosaurus had a crest on its head that may have been used to communicate with other Corythosaurus. Corythosaurus was a herbivore, and like other hadrosaurs or duck-billed dinosaurs, it had a beak with hundreds of small, flat teeth in the back, perfect for grinding. Cretoxyrhina, also known as Ginzu shark, was a shark that lived in the western interior sea during the late Cretaceous time period. Its teeth grew up to 2 inches long. Cretoxyrhina ate large bony fish and occasionally fed on giant reptiles like mosasaurs and plesiosaurs. Its teeth have been found embedded in the bones of other animals. Cryolophosaurus was discovered on the southern continent of Antarctica. Today, Antarctica is extremely cold and icy, but during the age of the dinosaur, Antarctica was much warmer with lush green forest. Cryolophosaurus was a large meat-eating dinosaur that lived during the Jurassic time period. During the Jurassic, Antarctica was closer to the equator and was part of a large continent called Pangaea. Dinosaurs lived in North America during the late Cretaceous period. It is closely related to its much larger cousin, Tyrannosaurus. Daspletosaurus was a meat-eating tyrannosaur. Like T-Rex, it too was the top predator of its time, though it lived long before Tyrannosaurus Rex. Deinonychus was a feathered dinosaur that was about 11 feet long. Deinonychus were carnivorous predators. Their skulls had powerful jaws lined with almost 60 sharp blade-like teeth. These teeth and their big toe claws were useful for hunting and eating prey. Deinosuchus and all other crocodiles are reptiles, but they aren't dinosaurs. In fact, birds are the closest relatives of dinosaurs living today. Deinosuchus probably hunted a variety of animals, including turtles, fish, and even dinosaurs. Dilophosaurus had a pair of thin, bony crests on the top of its head that was probably used for showing off to other Dilophosaurus. Dilophosaurus was likely a great hunter, but like most carnivores, it was probably a scavenger too, eating meat from animals that it did not kill.